One, two, one, two, three. I am a guy from a place. Charm City Bip, Marquise the Vandal. Marquise is the name my mama gave me. I'm here in a moment. I am grateful. That's what I want to start with. I'm grateful. This morning, I have thought about how I haven't done one of these in a while. And the reasons are many, but they don't matter in this moment. They don't matter in this moment at all, actually. Uh, and I'm doing this to kind of reflect on how I feel as I'm experiencing new transitions. I'm experiencing a lot of different things, a lot of growth, a lot of expansion, a lot of affirmation and confirmation has been given. People in my immediate circle are affirming the identities I've shown up as, identities that I've been able to live as but didn't trust that I actually was. You are an empath. You are enlightened. You are a teacher. You are a student. You are great at these things that you've shown up as. You are an author. You are a writer. You are is what I'm hearing so much of. Because I spent a lot of time saying I am. And now it's coming back to me as you are this. And I'm proud of you. And I'm like, you're proud of me? So I'm breathing into it. I'm living into it. And as I said, I am making this to reflect on that. Also conscious this morning of the saying within the biblical text. And I might not be quoting this perfectly correct, so I apologize if I'm stating it wrong. But I remember the statement, be not weary in well-doing. And again, I might be off. Be not weary in well-doing. I'm thinking about that because it was plenty weary. I was weary at times. And I saw something recently that mentioned the need to not be desperate as you are working toward your dreams. The desperation that I experienced. I'm desperate because of my circumstance, but the desperation wasn't valid. The circumstance don't validate desperation. That's an energy that I'm choosing to live in because I can very much be patient. I can very much be still as I experience this. I can be more conscientious of how I'm showing up, why I'm showing up the way I am. And that awareness has been liberating. That awareness to just say, what am I rushing toward? Who's actually setting the speed for this? Who's controlling the tempo? I got the rock. I got the ball. And when I say I got the ball, that's something that we can all say. You have the ball in your life. Marquise, you have the ball in your life. And that has been my journey as of late. I have the ball. And what I decide to do with it is something that may impact others, but ultimately I live with every decision. And even that's becoming more clear as I'm becoming an adult and being affirmed as that. My decisions are being trusted more and I'm not being gaslit. People aren't trying to be like, you're too young to say that. You're actually the right age to say that, man. I'm like, I'm the right age to say it now. Now I'm wise. Appreciate you. But it's funny just to reflect. Like I said, I was blessed to do a couple pop-ups this past weekend. I work with Books and Bounty. Follow them on Twitch. Follow them on Instagram. Books and Bounty. I got to do better with like the editing, but I want to just get these thoughts out. So Books and Bounty. Follow Silent Books Publishing. Follow NM Connects, I believe. Black Wall Street on 25th Street in Baltimore, Maryland. Took place yesterday. I had the pleasure of showing up and working with Books and Bounty and selling some of my books and talking to people and just having conversation around the reasons I wrote these books. This book beside me is my exploration of the shadows I've dealt with throughout transitions. I'm still writing. I'm a writer. I'm grateful to be that, right? And I had really framed what this book meant to me. I wrote it back like in the final months of last year. I'm writing something new in the final months of this one, so yay! But wrote this is the last 4 months of last year, and really did a lot of intention in getting it together and published. And I self-published it in February 17th. I did little ads for it, and I'm still marketing and promoting because why not? This is my book, Marquise Carrington. I'm the author. I Met God in the Gutter. I Speak Light Over My Life is the newest book that I published, and The Birth of the Yogi was the first book. So again, this book reflects on those transitions. I lost a mother, right? I mentioned that briefly in a couple of the newer ones. I lost a mother, and I had a lot of thoughts around what grief was. And grief also shows up in the transitions I'm mentioning because I left the school. So I'm grieving this identity that I was. But I'm also cognizant of the fact that nothing's changed. So as I'm feeling all of this, I feel so bad that I won't be in a school building and the kids won't see me, and like they're crying and they're giving me gifts and I'm crying, and like it's a lot going on, and it's like this consciousness of I am still a teacher. And I use that example to say I lost a mother, but I'm still her son. And the ways that I get to be her son have not ended because she's no longer in this space. And that has been the blessing as I reflect. I've lost so much within my journey. I no longer have the access to certain things that I used to have. But as I assume a new identity, I really don't need the access to the things that I used to have the access to. You know, I don't need the access to certain friends at certain hours. I don't need the access, or I don't even have the desire to be certain places. It's because I have new identities. And the more that I'm beginning to affirm those identities, the more that others are affirming those identities, the more comfort I feel in them. It was plenty discomfort in the process. It was discomfort in saying I'm doing something that people have consistently done a certain way, but I'm going to do it differently, and I don't care what anybody thinks about it. It was discomfort. And then there's the fun part of like, well, I did it. I did it. I don't have a bachelor's degree. I don't have certain mentors that I will soon have and that I'm gaining, but I didn't have all of these things that I assumed I would need to affirm the things that I've been. I taught yoga classes. I've done workshops. I've done public speaking engagements. I've had a lot of moments where I'm like, wow, you're pretty cool. And even as I've assumed all these identities, the thing I centralize, the thing I'm grounded in is this God from a place concept. And shout out to the guy who gave it to me a couple years back at Lake Montebello while we were doing pull-ups on the pull-up bars. And he still had a muscle up. And he didn't think he did for a second, but he might have just been capping because you know how that goes, humility, right? He gave me this term, a God from a place. And as soon as I received it, it clicked because no matter what identity I assume, it'll all be washed away. And that's cool because there's so many people who assumed these identities before I had the opportunity to. I get to be a teacher because there were so many people who taught me and showed me that it was possible. They were a reference. There's brothers in my community that served time, came home, re-envisioned themselves, and are doing wonderful things in our community and wonderful things for their family. And that's because the stories that were told about them or the stories they were telling about themselves no longer have an impact, and they tell better stories about themselves. They show up as a reference for a young guy like me to say, oh, I can go do that. I can go be that. This thing that I've been is like, it's cool, but I'm going to go do something different for a little bit. And I'm blessed to be able to come back to the thing that I put on the back burner for a second. Never stopped writing raps. That's why I was able to write a poetry book. I'm thinking of writing short stories now because I've met brothers and sisters who are doing those types of things. Shout out to the Baltimore Book Festival, Charm City Cultural Cultivation, and Last Resort Art Retreat. Shout out to everybody that is a part of these organizations that I'm coming across. It's just all the doors that are being open to me and people that are inviting me into these spaces. I just really am grateful this morning. Be not weary and well doing. Last year when I left the school building, if you watched that video, you know, that was a year ago. Actually, it was more than a year ago. It was last February. And this month is October. So about a year and 8 months, my math is correct. I left the school building. It's almost 2 years. Next February, make 2 years. I left the school building and I affirmed these things. And in April, I lose a mother. I lose a mother, and I'm grieving, and I'm working through this transition. But it's an awkward moment for me because I was blessed to be so many things before this loss. I was coming into my own, establishing myself as a podcaster, as a yoga instructor in the community, as a force to be reckoned with. That's what I felt. And I was doing it. And I felt I was doing it well. And like I said, then life happened and showed me some things that said slow down and be still. And I listened, but I didn't. I didn't want to be still. And there's a lot of reasons, but ultimately it just was this, I'm running. And I've been blessed to be more still as of late. Blessed to have people enter my life that are affirming, like I said, affirming these things. And wherever you are in your journey, I say, be not weary in well doing. The good things, the good light, the good love you give is of great value. You are worthy of the deepest love. And I'm very goofy as I'm saying it. It feels sarcastic, but I truly mean it. You're worthy of the deepest love. You're worthy of the deepest truth. You're worthy of an experience that is peaceful. There is a reality that we are living with daily that does not allow us to do that. In this book, I said, I'm wishing peace to all my Palestinian friends. In October of this same year, we're still witnessing a genocide. It's not comfortable. All right, but as I acknowledge all of the evils in the world, I feel so much gratitude and joy for being a light for anybody in that darkness. And this isn't to say that's enough, because there is work to be done. There is intention to be put out here, and there are a lot of ways we can show up and be more effective. Right? But the smallest things go the furthest at times, like these. That good morning text. That how have you been? I texted my brother the other day, and he said something must be in the air, because I was thinking about texting you. I was like, right, because that's the good energy that we are blessed to live within. And it doesn't have to be dressed up in some religiosity. It doesn't have to be dressed up in extreme theology. I'm using be not weary and well doing just as much as I say, don't be ashamed of doing good things. Don't allow yourself to get drained in doing good things. Don't feel like your goodness doesn't count for anything. It counts for so much. A little bit of light can brighten up a lot. I laugh when I think about, like, this is random. I don't really feel like it fully relates, but I'm going to say it anyway. I was in the forest one time as a kid, went on a camping trip, and I was like, I gotta use the bathroom. So I leave my tent, and I think it was kind of like some lights on the campgrounds, but then I go deeper into the forest, and eventually my eyes turn on. And when I say like eyes turn on, that was such a fun moment for me. I'm like, I hear leaves under my shoes. I can see all through this forest, and it's just moonlight. And it was a little bit of light, but it did so much for me. And that's what I feel like we can be sometimes. I think unless we step into the darkness, we don't even give the lights that are there the opportunity to show us it's still some good out here. And that is my consciousness around denial, avoidance. Put that over there, because that's not really my vibe. It's like, no, bring that into the conversation as well, so we can figure out what we can do as a community. Because the silence is actually what the issue is, being silent about our issues. And this is my opportunity to not be so silent. I'm writing it on the page, and then one day I'm comfortable enough to share these thoughts. I got a couple moments in here. In fact, I will share the last moment. I wrote this for my mother that I lost, that my family lost. Like I said, as grieving is what it is, this is what I recognize. And this is what I recognize in so many people that have loved me. You didn't have to, but you did. I love you for many reasons. The way you loved us, the things you did, the space you made, the space you held, the love that you would give forever in our lives, our blessing and our gift. We lost you physically, but kept so much. Kept memories, sunshine, and your selfless love. You accepted us. You protected us. You gave us affection. You corrected us. It wasn't always easy, but you had not neglected us. And you didn't have to, but you did. People ask what we might need. I don't know what that is. One more moment, one more hug, one more laugh, one more kiss. It's what we all want, but it's what we can't get. Though the sun has set, it has not set on your love. Forever in our hearts. With love. Your son. I think about the fact that this is stepmom. I think about that title and how a lot of society receives that title and the expectations that are set by that title or set for that title by certain individuals. And as I think about it and sit with what I lived in, I see she was mom. It's mama show. Mama show. And that reference taught me that you are always more than the title. Too much of the time, there's a logic put in that says, this is what the title says, so this is what it must be. And that's not so realistic. Mom looks like a lot of things. There are people actively in our life that are playing these roles of mother, father, brother, sister. Like a brother is made through adversity. Is like a line in the book. It's like these things that come to me where I'm like, right. The gardens that feed us are our family. We're born into a family. Sometimes that family is one that is nurturing and fulfilling and truthful and all of the things we need it to be. And sometimes that family is not those things. The family we are born into. But there is a point in life where the ego gets to be shed. There's the ego death and we are born again. And what we are born again into is more reflective of who we are. There is a point where there's a distrust for this new identity, for this person that we're blessed to be. And in that distrust, I have gone back to spaces that didn't serve me any longer, believing that the people I'm going back to, that's good peoples, and that's not my people anymore. That's no longer my tribe. Things have shifted. And giving myself grace to allow them to shift has been quite a journey. This book means a lot to me because of that final poem, because of the other poems within it. The title poem, I met God in the gutter as people walked above us. I met God on Chester Street waiting for my mother. I met God as grandma chain smoked beside the man that loved her. I met God in the gutter. I met God through my mother's. I met God when my mother said, no weapon formed against us will touch us. I met God through my brothers who ain't let nobody punk us. I met God through my lovers, women who helped me organize my clutter. I met God in the gutter. I met God in the gutter. I met God as my fathers taught me structure through discipline. Even when I ran, they thought I wasn't listening. They were heard. I observed and understood. When bullies knocked me down and my face met the earth, I met God in the gutter. All around my town. I met God when I loved him. Every day I smile. Where I'm from is like no other. It can surely make you frown. But when it builds you up from out that gutter, the Lord above bestows your crown. I met God in the gutter. Baltimore raised charm city lover. Bip Bip. I write these things. I love these things that I'm blessed to write because they're my truth. And we all have that within us. How we go about bringing it forward looks different. The ways in which we trust ourselves to do so. The people we entrust to allow us to do. Like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Oh, that's what you're doing? I hope it goes well. Or they aren't such a positive energy and they say, you gonna look dumb doing that. Why would you do it? You do it. You do it anyway. You do it because we don't have this forever. This thing we're doing isn't even guaranteed to us. And that reality is becoming more and more clear the further this year goes on, and we're seeing genocides. We're seeing school shootings. We're seeing mass murder. We're seeing all of these horrific things taking place. And people who had a whole life in front of them are being shortcut. Their lives are being cut short. Because the individuals that have a desire for something that isn't truth. They've decided that the lie is that there's lack here. There's something scarce. There's more resources that have to be pooled. There's vengeance to be given to people who've it's this very selfish and self-centered reality that a lot of people exist in, and is unfair. If you're going to be selfish to take care of yourself so that you can show up for others better. If you're going to be selfish to love yourself, give yourself grace, give yourself trust, patience, give yourself the knowledge that you desire so that you can show up within communities that honor you and that you've honored, and give them what they need. But to be selfish and prioritize the negative feelings that are residing within you to the point of taking them out on others is just not cool. Not cool at all. It's nasty work. The nastiest. So as I said, man, I'm a guy from a place, and I'm blessed to be able to reflect and share this. I'm grateful for everybody that's showing up for me. Grateful for everybody that bought my book this weekend, who has read a copy, who has told somebody about me, because I'm a guy from a place. You know, I'm a young man from Baltimore, Maryland. Shout out to the Ravens. Shout out to the O's. Shout out to all of the people that, you know, make this place the beautiful thing that it gets to be. You know, shout out to all of the people that have made me be the beautiful person that I get to be. You know, I'm grateful for myself. You know, shout out to just everybody that raised me up. Because it takes a village. And it truly took a village. This book is a reflection of that. Like, it took a village. My step grandma, like I even step feel weird, but I got to get new family because of the relationship. Is just like I say the blessings just be like, thank you. It'd be wild. And sometimes I don't always understand what I have because I'm not taking inventory. And I say those things. I started my podcast honest about that, reflective of that. Like, take inventory, celebrate the little wins. Take it one day at a time, because it's like the little things add up. You don't got to do 30 workouts in 1 week to start to get fit. You just do 4 workouts that are really intentional and eat less, and maybe you take the stairs more, and maybe you just do all these little things that compound into you being the person that you've asked to be. Maybe when you wake up, you get right up instead of like sitting and lingering and dreading the day before you, but get right up, go brush your teeth, drink some water, go and get into the day in a way where it's like, you know what, I'm commanding this no matter what shows up on my plate. And when that is the stance, that is the perspective that's taken, you'll get news like somebody passed away at the age of 50, and I might be off in that. They passed away at a young age, and you have to come to the house just to see them. All right. You'll get news like that. You'll show up because you've prepared. It's that whole you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Sometimes you don't know what you're even getting ready for. So, I just say we are blessed. We are blessed. I speak light over my life because to speak death over it isn't my business. That you do that on your own time if you into that, Life and death is in the power of the tongue. I won't pretend like I've always said good things. I won't pretend like I always will. But when I had a consciousness to do so, I will. You know what I'm saying? So y'all blessed. Y'all be blessed. We're built in private. We're blessed in public, whether they like it or love it. The process is trusted. Life is abundant, right? I am a God from a place, Charm City, Bip Bip, Keith the Vandal. Marquise is a name my mama gave me. I say, one day made better is many days made greater. If I'm uplifting you to be in a world that cares. If I'm keeping it to myself, I think that's unfair. The joys we are given are best when shared. Visionaries never die. Legends survive. Through the seeds we sow daily, we get better with time. I wish you peace, prosperity, many blessings. It was outro felt kind of choppy this time. I haven't done that in a while, but I'm here. I'm here as myself. I'm here as Marquise. My mom or my daddy, they chose that name. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. I hope y'all are wherever you are, the way you need to be. Be in peace, breathe and sleep. Whatever I'm saying. I'm just saying a lot. But I'm grateful if y'all watched this far. And like I said, check out I Met God in the Gutter. Check out I Speak Light Over My Life. It is available on Amazon. If you're in the Baltimore area or any area I be in, tap in with me. We gonna get right. You feel me? Bip, bip, baby. We were searching for the right way, did a lot of wrong. Can't go back, gotta move on. Gotta move forward, corrections given and accept that living still brings pain. Even when you're moving with the best intentions and you blessed with visions of joy, bliss, peace. Gratitude for every day I live to speak and I live to breathe in wealth and abundance. Traumas get healed when the shadows confronted. I know my truth, I wear it in public. Meditate, pray, and give praise when I rise. Keep a clear mind and the planet stays high. Came here with everything, came here perfected. Took on some bags that I thought were protection. I let it all go, every limit. Grateful for peace in this life that I'm living. Glad to say the cycles are finished, complete. And I'm still on my feet. Wishing you peace. Wishing you peace. Wishing you peace. Thankful. Peace.